So, I've recently had some issues that I've had to deal with my entire life, and it's brought me to a standstill in my later years here. Um, Trauma that happened when I was a little child that led to anger issues over my life, and me eventually taking my anger out on other people and blaming them for my problems because they couldn't help me. And what it led to was it led to them treating me the same way. So, because I blamed them, then all of a sudden, it wasn't their fault. And I couldn't fix my problems, and I expected them to fix my problems. And then eventually I pushed them away, and now they blame me. And so basically, they're doing the same thing I did. They're blaming me for, things that. So honestly, it's my fault, and I take the blame for it. But also, trauma and post-traumatic stress it's not my post-traumatic stress is from stressful situations in my life, similar to what people would go through overseas, but it's still a type of post-traumatic stress. But with that said, I'm trying to keep the camera focused because of the lighting issues. With that said, because I had this trauma and then later on stressful situations in my life that led to having post-traumatic stress, I blamed my family, and then it pushed them away. And then because I blamed them, it made them hard at me, and I was trying to reach out to them and ask them to help me. And in the process, the depression and anger kicked in, and that pushed them away further. And the fact that they, instead of helping me and wanting to help me, because I was blaming them, they got mad at me, and then they started to blame me. So because they were blaming me, that just caused me to go deeper into depression and anger, and the reciprocal to them, that made them angrier. So it was a spiral, and my family spiraled out of control until something broke, and I broke. And now I've had to go back and look at those things. And the reason that we're looking at this tree that's dead is because parts of me were dead. And I have to remove those dead parts so that I can have a clean, fresh start. And so what this stump represents is the stump was a tree, which represents, the trauma and things, anger inside of me. And as we are going through and removing the roots and digging deeper, there's more and more roots, which is more and more pain and more trauma. So as we dig, we find more and more things that have caused my issues over the years. But we got to dig all that stuff out. So we're going to dig this tree stump out. We're going to dig all the roots out. We drilled holes in it. So that means I'm examining the roots in my own heart, and I had to dig all that out and examine them to see who it affected, how it affected them. Is there a way that I can mend all those relationships? And then we drilled holes in that tree and poured kerosene in it. So the kerosene is going to set for 48 hours. And then we're going to try to dig around that stump the best we can and start a fire. So we'll attack it from 360 degrees. We're going to burn it from 360 degrees top. We're going to dig under it and put some wood under it to have a fire. We're starting on the top by pouring kerosene in it, and we'll attack the sides. So it's a 360 degree to get rid of that tree. And once we get rid of that tree, then we'll fill in there'll be a hole, and we've got to fill that hole in with something. So that's my heart. My heart is going to have a big, after I do all this and dig my roots out inside of me, all this anger and PTSD and trauma and things, after I dig it all out, there's a hole. So I've got to fill that hole something, and I got to fill that with self-respect and love for myself, and hopefully forgiveness from others. And once I fill that hole in, this stump is in the yard, so this yard is beautiful. You can see, look at all that green grass out there, and you can see the stump over there. And now it's ugly, but look at the grass over here. So once we fill that in, the grass will actually grow back. And once we do that, once I dig all my roots out, my emotional stress and trauma, and I dig all that out and I let it go, and I go and talk to the people that it affected, hopefully, I'll start to heal. That hole will start to heal over, and then eventually I'll be a beautiful front yard, just like this house here in Mississippi. But that's that kind of the intent of the word picture, or the metaphor of what we're doing with this tree stump, is teaching people about emotional health and what they can do it's really sad. I'm hurt because I've hurt so many people, and I'm hurt that they're hurt, and some of my closest, particularly my wife and my kids, some of them are trying to forgive me and want to forgive me, but it's hard. And some of them don't know how to forgive me, and some of them don't want to forgive me. And my wife doesn't want to forgive me because all that trauma that I had inside of me, I've given it back to her. And the only way she knows how to react is to treat me the way that I treated her. So now that, you know, I've done this and caused these issues in her life, not necessarily that I did it purposely. I think she thinks I did it purposely, but I didn't. You know, I was sick, I had trauma, I had things going on that I didn't know, didn't understand, but now that I'm starting to dig it up, and that made it worse for her, because now she's like, well, you know, now that I'm at my wit's end, now you want to fix yourself, and you find a way to fix yourself. But, you know, the problem was I was at my wit's end. I was at the very end. There was nowhere to go but up, and I got rock bottom, and now, you know, she doesn't understand that, and I'm sorry that for her. And I'm sorry that I put her in this situation, and I hope that she will forgive me, and I hope that, you know, I hope she's going to have to hit root bottom too, and she's going to have to do the same thing I did. But right now, she's just in the blame game. I'm the monster. She wants to blame me for all these issues, and that's understandable. And I take that responsibility, but it still hurts, and I still miss her. And, you know, that's kind of why I'm making this video. I'm making this video, and of course, she says I'm narcissistic, which means that I don't have empathy for other people and I don't care about other people. It's not true, I do, but for some reason, you know, I don't think she saw those things in me, even though it's true. I mean, I do have empathy and I do care about my wife and my children, but she doesn't believe me right now. So, you know, there's a darkness on her, and that darkness is blinding her to some of the reality of the situation, and her perceptions are off, but that's okay. My perceptions were off, and I blamed her, and so, you know, I guess patience is the key, but it's hard. She may not forgive me, and that's where I'm at today, trying to deal with how to move on. I don't know. I just know how to deal with it, you know, to dig up my tree stump, dig up my roots, burn it all, and get rid of all of it, and then put grass down and hope that there's something better on the other side. That's all I can do. Whether people forgive me or not, you know, that's their ball, but I hope they do, but for their own sakes, you know, because this has destroyed me, and it'll destroy them. And even though I started it, didn't mean to start it, but I did start it. And now it's in, you know, they have the ball, and they've got to learn to do what I'm doing. So maybe they'll watch this video and it'll make sense to them. But anyway, that's kind of the moral of the story. And so we're going to keep working on this tree system, this root system, until it's all gone, and until we can see some grass growing. And hopefully in the process of doing all that, however long it takes, my heart is healing, and I'm healing on the inside too. And maybe my wife and my children and the other people in my life that I've hurt will also be able to be healed because of this process. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching Jam's Adventures. Have a great day. Hope to see you guys next time. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Mushroom got me tripping.